So here I am in my medical sales job. You can see I'm making a good income, making over $200,000 per year. I had some financial freedom, but I didn't have time freedom, right? So I wanted to give you the blueprint on how I was able to, in 4 years, be able to basically 20x my net worth, go to 4 million in net worth in just a short period of time. And had I followed traditional strategies, I'd still be stuck at a 9 to 5, or maybe in my case, a 7 to 5 p.m. or 7 to 6 p.m. So I want to give you the secrets. Let's go over to it in a few steps, and let's jump in. All right, so my name is Bronson Hill. I'm the CEO of Bronson Equity. We do deals that help people get cash flow appreciation and tax benefits and alternative assets like oil and gas, private businesses, and real estate. And so I want to talk to you about how clinging to my job, really, it caused me to get stuck, right? So we don't realize sometimes how we can get stuck. We can often get stuck. It allows, there's this saying about the golden handcuffs, right? Things were too good. My family's like, why would you want to leave your great job? That's just crazy. Why would you ever want to do that? And the reason I wanted to leave is because I just wanted to have more control over my time. I wanted to be able to go on trips. I wanted to be able to create and write a book, which I've been able to do. I've been able to have a podcast, to do videos and content like this, and be able to go do a class midday at the gym and to go do these things. I wasn't able to take vacations. I wanted to do the things that I wanted to do. And so the clinging to the job the traditional way, it's just not a way to become wealthy. Now, you may already be wealthy, which is great, but I think that this video is for you if you're trying to say, how do I scale up? What are the things I need to do to be able to get there? So really the shift for me that changed everything is I got around more successful people, right? Success leaves clues. If they say, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you're spending your time with people that have the same net worth as you, they have the same health habits as you, the same spiritual habits, the same things, and you're trying to change any area of your life, you're not going to get there by being around the same people. When I wanted to get into Spartan racing and run, and I lost 30 pounds and really was trying to become more healthy, I hired a coach. I got around people that were more healthy. I really did things. I tried to eat better. I did the things, but I really got in rooms where people were kind of really at that next level. And so I think that's the biggest thing, paid masterminds. We have a paid mastermind for high net worth investors, but one of the biggest things that happened for me is I went on this investor cruise, and I approached a guy that I respected a ton. I just said, hey, instead of, hey, I want you to help me, I said, hey, how can I help you, right? There was a quote on the cruise that was mentioned about make yourself valuable to valuable people. And I think this is the biggest secret here. Somebody's listening, is how do I grow my wealth, my worth, my value in getting paid, is you need to find somebody who's got a lot of material value and then find a way to help them, right? So they will pay. I will pay a lot of money now to help solve. If you can come to me and say, hey, I can solve this problem for you, I will pay a lot of money for that, because that's really important to me. And so that's what I did. I went to somebody who was teaching people how to raise money for real estate, but they weren't raising money in their business. And I said, hey, can I help you with this? Can I be a part of doing something to be helping you with this? And they're like, okay, sure. So we basically created this partnership. We raised $15 million together. I mean, it grew a ton. I made a lot of money off of that. It was great. And so just finding a way to help other people. Now, if you have money, there's ways to do this too. I know a guy that was put some earnest money down. There's deals like this. You put earnest money down, you get a pretty quick return for a very high percentage. This guy put $1 million down. It's a fair amount of money, but he made $50,000 in about 24 hours, right? So he made just a really high return in a very short period of time, just simply for putting money in to help somebody else close a deal. So those kind of things help, right? So when you find a way to help people, it's great. Now, if you help poor people, that's wonderful. There's an altruism to that. I have a ministry background, worked with a lot of, people in the church. I think it's great. But also, if you're trying to make a living, you need to get around people that have material wealth and try to find a way to help them, right? So that's something that's really important. And so whether you're active, so the strategies I'm talking about in this video are really active. What does it mean to actually be someone who, actively tries to help others with their wealth and helps them on that path? What does that look like? And then there's the passive way, right? If you have money, you can find other ways to do that. But actively, I would say the biggest thing is start taking action, right? Go to meetups, go to conferences. And again, instead of asking, hey, how can you help me? How can you help me? I feel like help me help you, like from Jerry Maguire, right? Help me help you, right? That's the question you want to ask, but you don't just walk up and say, hey, how can I help you? That's like it's a very general question. I want you to think about the person's business. I want you to think about their finances. I want you to think about their stage of life if they're an investor. Hey, what are you looking for? What are the things you're doing? Where are you getting stuck here? A lot of people are like, I'm looking for deal flow. I'm looking for help to operate this. I'm looking for somebody to find properties for me. I'm looking for somebody to do this specific thing for me. And that's really how people go to the next level, right? Because if you just simply are someone who says, hey, I'm here to help, and you actually show a specific, tangible way to help, right? You can understand the person's business and say, I'm gonna help you with this specific thing. It actually is really, really valuable. And eventually people always get paid. They always find a way to get paid over time. Now you may in the short run not really get paid, you're doing it for free, but over time that's really how people get paid. So I want to encourage you to do it. If you have a dream, to really go after it and really, one of my goals is to make a lot of money, be able to give a lot away, to obviously support my family and things like that. But wealth allows you to have the ability to be generous. It allows you to have the ability to have a family and support yourself, especially if you live in a big market like Los Angeles, like I do, right? So that's the challenge, right? How do you live and thrive where the average house is $1.5 million, right? It's challenging, but there are ways to be able to do it. So I wanted to share this quote with you. It says, wealth is not about having money, it's about having options, right? And that comes from the comedic philosopher Chris Rock, right? So that's important. So my hope for you is that you do that. Again, if you haven't checked out my book, Fire Yourself, you can hear a little bit more of my story. If you haven't checked out our podcast, The Mailbox Money Show, we get into, just talking how people are doing different types of assets, kind of how they got started, learn from those stories, really get the information from that stories. We'd love to see in the comments below what it is you're doing to try to better yourself and grow your wealth. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.